Very well. Let this abomination unto the Lord begin.
Just start recording and then
just start recording.
At some point.
Just start recording, they say.
Just do it, Dave, goddamn you.
Okay. Alright, it's done.
Can we just, get right into it and be like, hey, I'm glad that we're not doing a fucking movie again.
Yeah, no, I already brought that up. I already said, well, you were out of the room.
Oh, okay.
So glad we are done with the movies. We probably said this the last time, too. At the end of the movies, we were like, oh my god, thank you.
Yeah.
We're done with this shit.
Well, we totally half-assed the last movie as well.
Yeah, we did. We did a terrible episode.
Okay, but which one would you say was worse? That one or the second half of the one that Nathan was on where we were all hammered?
Oh, yeah.
I want to say, since Nathan told us all that was terrible, that one was bad.
You know what? I don't disagree with him.
No, I had no disagreements with that at all.
I am just going on what other people have said. I refuse to listen to it.
I haven't listened to any of the episodes recently. Tell you the truth.
I haven't either.
No?
No, that's for the best.
Yes, probably for the best. We do have a disclaimer as well, that if you are just starting to listen to our podcast, that you should not listen to at least the first 10 episodes.
Yeah, just start with the newer, like episode 50 and up.
Yeah. That's when we start to get our feet.
And then get into the dredge that is our earlier episodes. I feel so bad for the guests that were on for the first 10 episodes that we did, because it was just fucking chaos. And then there was that one time that Dave deleted the entire goddamn podcast.
Yes, I deleted a whole bunch. Do we have to go over this again? We were all drunk.
Yeah, but only one of us was recording it.
I'm sorry.
And only one of us clicked delete.
I hit the wrong button. It's an easy thing to do. Yeah. It's very easy. You hit the check, not the X. I don't know what I was thinking. But
none of us know either.
That being said,
we don't ever know what you're thinking.
Of course, I don't want you to know.
Naked ladies, naked ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
Naked ladies.
I know you hate that too, but it goes with that. That was funny. That was Snoop Dogg. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
We've already discussed this. I don't like those sort of references for some reason.
All right, so welcome to the show. We're back. We're away from the movies.
Thank God.
We are at the beginning of the last 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
4 seasons. The Comedy Central run, which started in
2010, I want to say.
Yeah, because it did end in 2014. This is the first episode of those seasons on Comedy Central. I'm just reiterating. I'm waiting for anybody else to cut in.
This is the first episode of the first season on Comedy Central.
Okay, you shut up. Would you like to introduce our guest? We have a new guest, a brand new guest, somebody who has never been on the show.
So we should just end the podcast right here. That's probably good.
What, right now or when the episode is done?
No, introduce the guest, you goon.
Alright, so our friend Grant's here. Hello, Grant.
Hello.
So, not to put Grant on the spot, but I'm about to. I've been telling Grant for a while that he needs to be on because he likes Futurama and he's a funny dude and he's very knowledgeable about pop culture. And I was just like, dude, we just get drunk and we ramble. You'll be perfect. And finally...
I don't know that you should take that as a compliment necessarily.
Well, finally, here this idiot is.
Yep. I finally decided to bite the bullet and here I am.
Welcome to the fold.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Speaking to the mic, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this close enough?
That's good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Should I move my chair forward a little bit? Is that okay? Can you pick up on me moving the chair sounds?
Yeah.
God.
Lots
Let's
of
get
it.
everything in the...
Just make as much noise as possible. That's what I say.
Can you shuffle that paper around a little bit?
You want me to?
Yeah, please.
And keep dancing, for God's sake.
Nice
bender.
There's a reference. to that.
Okay, so can I just say right off the bat, I thought that was like, okay, so the scene with Bender where he gets the Doomsday device in order to stay alive, like that's funny, but boy did they play that out for far too long with him just dancing in the background of every single scene. Like every important scene between like Fry and Leela or whoever, there's a dancing Bender in the background. I just think it was a little much.
They had to get their point across, though.
I liked it.
Okay, Grant, can you please not just be quiet and then lean in and say 2 words?
I like it was commitment to the ongoing joke. It was a running joke that we had to keep going. That's what I
it
liked.
certainly was, but I just got tired of it. Like, I actually would have preferred if they had made that Bender joke in the very beginning, and then it was one of those things where like it never comes up again. Like they put a Doomsday device in his body, and then we never even hear of it again. Like it's just some sight gag and one off.
It's one of those things where like it's going to come back at some point later on in the episode to be like the Deus Ex Machina or whatever, like the thing that
the MacGuffin.
Is that what it is? Yeah, okay, yeah. Like at some point it's going to come back and it's going to play a major role. So I think they're kind of like by not throwing it away.
Well, and I guess the way that the episode ends up, like that did play a pretty strong role with regards to how it ends with the cyclophage, but still, I don't know, just Bender dancing around. I guess maybe I sort of feel like Bender was sort of used in a kind of like a lame way. I don't know, he's just not using him to his fullest capabilities.
I will put it to being the first episode back. And you are kind of right about the whole, they kept doing it. Now they used it sparingly.
Yeah.
Like for not every scene where we just see him kind of like shaking in the background. But certain parts, when we get later on, there's a moment when they're at Fry and Bender's apartment. And he's being super serious, kind of trying to ease Fry's worries. I don't want to get too into it before we talk about what happens early on. We are skipping ahead a little bit, but he says something like really like trying to put Fry at ease, but then goes into basically a Michael Jackson pose right there, grabbing his crotch and going, yeah! But let's jump back a little bit and talk about the beginning of the episode.
So I don't did we even mention that we're talking about Rebirth?
Yeah, Rebirth is the episode. I brought that up.
And this is actually a David X. Cohen episode. Story by Matt Groening, teleplay by David X. Cohen. And the synopsis that I wrote down, with the help of some stem cells, the Planet Express crew is reborn after their ship crashes in New York. But when Leela is reborn in a coma, Fry tries his best to move on by creating a robot duplicate of his lost love. However, when the original Leela wakes up, Fry has to figure out which Leela is right for him. There's a lot of repetition in that.
Leela.
Coma, Leela.
See, those are the funny parts of that. He does take something else though too, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't even. What's the other thing that he does?
I'm pretty sure he makes another joke, singing joke. And maybe one of us will remember when we get to it. But yeah, the first part. My first note is. Well, first note I have here is severe burns. just severe burns.
That's a good start.
I know.
But what about the Fry throw?
The Fry throw was funny, but he just like glosses over that and goes right to the severe burns, and then it's just kind of like whatever. Like here we are.
Well, and then of course much later, and hey, where's my shoes?
Well, yeah, that
His concern is always a little bit misplaced as to what is wrong with him.
Does he come out of the stem cells naked? Because I just remember seeing him putting clothes on, like kind of putting his jacket on, but I didn't know if he had everything else. Like,
no, he is naked when he was birthed, but he just had an extra set of the only clothes that he's ever worn lying around.
Just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So after that.
Yeah. Okay.
There is another. I have a question. When you guys were in college, did people ever draw penises on your face?
Yes.
Not my face, but
You
on
had.
others. I've seen it on others, and I have onto others. So, yeah.
So
wait, you've been the drawer.
Right.
what?
I've been the drawer.
What exactly compels? And what exact thing? Is it like, do they pass out on the couch and you're like, hey, let's magic marker penises on this guy's face?
Well, no, there was a rule. If you passed out with your shoes on, fair game.
Yeah.
Shoes off, then you're fine.
See,
Even if you're in bed, but your shoes are on, it was fair game.
You get magic marker penises on your face.
Well, we didn't do magic marker, but like eyeliner and like regular pen. No magic marker. We weren't that malicious.
Okay. Now, is this a long, ongoing tradition? Because I've never...
What? You've never heard of that?
No,
Because I've heard of it.
Heard
I've
of
never
it.
been involved on either side.
Yeah,
but
I've never been involved. Like, I heard about it when I was in college, and I was like...
Okay, yeah. I've heard of
Why
it.
would you do that to someone? I feel like that's a ridiculous thing to do. At least they did it in eyeliner, not fucking permanent marker.
Yeah, like I said before, we weren't that malicious. But I mean, it was penalty for being the first person to pass out usually, and we're passing out without your shoes on,
Or passing out
with your shoes
in
on.
the common room.
or in the common. Exactly.
That's what it is usually. It's like that's like freshman year. Someone passes out in the lounge in the dorm, and then they're fair game.
Yeah, it's stupid stuff. It's really all. It's really all it boils down to.
Fucking college kids.
But,
Yeah.
when I moved off campus, what we would usually do if one of our roommates was like really hungover. This is a terrible story. This is a total dick move, but we had these huge speakers in our house that we would use for parties, and if someone was passed out later than noon, we would move them right in front of their door.
Oh, God.
And we would play the Flash Gordon theme song really loud.
Wait, can you hum that? Or
No.
Flash, you mean Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flash!
Yeah, okay.
He'll save every one of us. Flash. Oh yeah, I know Flash Gordon.
So just imagine that at like 100 decibels, and you're so hungover you just want to die. And everyone else, all of your friends are laughing at you.
Yeah. I imagine that just induces instant vomiting at that point.
That's right. The bass is pretty good on that. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I can see it being vomit inducing.
Alright, so moving on from there, I do have a question about... okay, so the professor is explaining what happened.
Yeah.
And they flash back, and he goes, a few days ago.
Yeah, and then we see sort of the end of the last movie redone, but then we see a little bit after that, because the Planet Express ship goes through a wormhole.
Yes.
And the Nimbus follows, and they are shooting them like crazy. Zap's being a fucking maniac, as he typically is.
I had a note on this because they show Zap in the Nimbus. He's the only one we see.
Okay.
Because Kif is on the Planet Express ship, and everyone else died in Wild Green Yonder. Who the fuck is Zap talking to?
Who's flying the ship other than Zap?
It's only him. He's the only one on that ship.
That's a good point. I had noticed that. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
There's that, but so this takes place. The Comedy Central airings take place how long after?
Oh, what? They went off
I
the
don't
air
know,
in
years?
2004, 2004, 2005.
Okay. So why a few days later? I have that, and then I have wormhole time travel.
But wait, so you think that the Futurama timeline should be exactly the same as the real world?
Well, that's how they've always done it. And even... Go ahead, Grant.
Well, I'm sorry. I was going to ask.
You should apologize. You should apologize before you speak every time.
I'm sorry. Well, do I need to lean forward every time I want to
Yes.
speak? Okay. But no. Well, that's what I wanted to ask is. So the last episode of season 6. This is a continuation of it, but it's kind of like they didn't expect to be renewed, and they got renewed, and they're like,
that's a good point.
Well, let's go ahead and try to jumble everything together and try to explain us coming back as best as we can.
Yeah.
Without it kind of seeming
That could be.
with like applying like the Futurama aspect to it, that like anything is possible because the technology is so advanced. They can just say, we can travel time, or we can recreate people. Like, I don't know. I just felt like they were like, oh shit, we got to explain why we're back now. And
There's some loose ends.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
some loose ends. But so it was, right? So it was supposed to be like a continuation of the last episode of season 6. Like they're just kind of picking up where season 6 left off.
Well, the last movie, which is sort of season 6,
it's
depending on what you're looking at.
If you watch on Netflix, damn you for taking Futurama off. But thank you, Hulu.
It's not Netflix's fault, and it's not to Hulu's benefit. It was Fox. Fox fucked us by removing it from Netflix.
Well, then fuck Fox.
But then they graced us by putting it back onto Hulu.
Yeah, but they put the weird edited version. Like, if you notice, some of the episodes are, like, severely edited.
What? I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, if you watch the television versions, then this, and also go watch the Rebirth episode on Netflix, and then watch it on Hulu.
Really?
There are slight differences.
Well, should we have watched this on Netflix then?
I honestly have no idea. Like, they cut certain things for some reason.
Huh.
Like, I don't know what it is. I think maybe Netflix has the DVD version, or maybe it's Hulu that has the DVD version.
I know HBO does that with movies. They have like HBO versions that aren't the same as the actual DVD version.
Okay.
Like they cut things for, I don't know if it's time constraints or whatnot.
That actually,
But
yeah.
I know they do that. They did that with Skull, or what is it? So, yeah, Skull Island, the newest.
Oh, well, I just saw...
And I saw something about it on, I think it was on Reddit.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, because apparently that's like normal procedure on airplanes. But then,
that's what it was.
But now
the airplane version. But it's
there's
on HBO.
airplane versions, but now HBO is using the airplane versions,
right?
Which is weird.
Maybe people are pissed because they're getting because they're we're paying for the service, and
Maybe HBO is the one the airplanes use, so it's just easier for them to transfer over.
Why are you on the side of HBO? Are you like
Are
you some sort of corporate spy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so he is, very clearly.
Smoke bomb!
That hesitation tells me.
Corporate shill. He's like
I'm trying to get us paychecks here, man.
He's like the HBO version of Ajit Pai with the FCC.
Oh, jeez.
And
you brought it right in.
Segue.
Damn that guy, motherfucker!
I like that guy. He seems really smart and
He's
nice.
a piece of shit. That's what he's trying to fuck us over. That's what he's trying to do.
Do you need a beer?
I just watched the cat leap 10 feet up. Does that happen frequently?
Oh wow!
All right. Back to the net neutrality thing.
Yeah, we got the cat distraction out of the way.
No, actually, I mean, he's the whole giant Reese's mug of coffee is like he's I don't know.
I'm just like everybody else.
Exactly.
I got a funny mug.
I'm just like the average guy. He's like, yeah, but you were a lawyer for Verizon before you were appointed by Trump. And to be the chair of the FCC.
It's like nobody even gives... They're just like, well, maybe it's for the better. They'll have less rules. They can do what they want.
Well, his main argument is that pre-Obama era restrictions, before there was like the heavy-handed restrictions, that the companies didn't practice this like tier tier, or like where like you can buy a tier to make your service better. And they were saying, well, before Obama, like during the Clinton eras, they didn't do that. So why are they going to do it? Like, why would they do it again? Like, well, the fact that they have the ability to do it to make more money, yeah, they're going
to take advantage of that.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, they're already trying to squeeze as much money out of people as they possibly can. I mean, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they make these like a la carte type services where you got to pay? Like in Chile, or maybe Chile or Portugal, I can't remember. But if you want to have
Chile
email services, you got to pay. Yeah, you got to pay more for it. You know what I'm talking about, right, Suds?
No, I was just gonna make a joke that Chile and Portugal are so different and so far apart.
I know. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay.
I believe it's Portugal, but you have to pay if you want email. You have to pay extra for it. If you want streaming services, you have to pay extra for it. Like it's got like an a la carte internet service.
So and
it's expensive.
I'm not trying to make a joke here, but I think that Grant is actually very knowledgeable about this because I'm not going to say specifically where you work, but Grant does work for a company that deals specifically with utility services, one of them being internet or whatever. So Grant does have some knowledge about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's limited in what we do, but I keep my eye on things. So yeah,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know.
So what are your coworkers think? Have you guys discussed this?
Oh well, yeah. Everybody is obviously for keeping net neutrality because the possibility. Well, what the worry is that if your provider, depending on what services you're using, if your provider isn't the one that's providing those services, they can throttle your services, which would mean to slow them down. So Netflix is an independent app or independent group. Because let's say I have Comcast. Comcast doesn't own Netflix. Comcast has their own streaming service. They're going to throttle Netflix so that Netflix basically won't work.
They're going to slow it down.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of like forced to use their
exactly. And what they're thinking is that they're going to throttle services like Netflix to the point where it's not usable and their stock drops. And then they'll buy it out for a real cheap price and then say, hey, look, our service is really good again. And now you guys should buy our services. It's
monopolize things.
It's like a land grab. You know, like that's kind of what they're thinking is going to happen. But
they're carpet bagging.
In a way, yeah. But Ajit Pai is saying, well, it didn't happen before. Why are they going to do it now?
He wants to make it an honor system. Like we should trust these people because and that's my whole issue with it is like, first of all, we've seen massive companies do unethical shit like over and over and over again. Why would we be okay with giving them free reign of it doesn't make sense. And he just keeps pushing that it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you don't know what's going to happen. So I mean, they're saying, there's no history of this happening in the past. Well, doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is the way he's trying to sell it off to everybody is like you said, Nick. I'm every guy, or I'm every guy's type of guy. Look at me, I have a good sense of humor, and how to not take myself too seriously. And it's like he's trying to win people over, but on the back end, like what they're trying to do is, I mean, it's almost like a violation of freedom of speech. I mean, to have companies dictate what it is you can and can't listen to without having to pay for it, I mean, that's a violation of...
we don't like Wikipedia, so we're gonna...
Yeah. Right, exactly.
We don't like people to learn things.
Yeah. Oh, you want this book that talks about, how the government works and what? Well, we're not going to let you read that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, what the content you're getting is not content that we own. Well, we're going to go ahead and throttle it. Well, I guess there's part of what they are saying is that a lot of the news outlets, they won't allow to be purchased just because of the issues with they don't want them to be in bed together or whatever else, so they're not going to have them have the sports and I think news possibly purchased. But I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is,
it
It's
seems
a violation of
pretty shady.
speech. Yeah, exactly. There's also backhanded deals.
So I guess if you live in the United States, definitely call your representative.
Oh, there's
and
plenty of
present them now.
websites and petitions you can sign right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to speak, because our very dumb president is not going to say it. He's such a fucking idiot.
Well,
that orange buffoon.
Look, American people, I talked to the head of Time Warner. He said I'm a very cool dude. I trust him.
With that impression, that reminded me of we're gonna sidetrack from net neutrality now. We may be back into it. Just give me a second. But James and I, what were we talking about? The bar. We were doing an impression of.
Oh, we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is on Netflix now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and we were making. Well, we weren't making fun. We were paying homage to Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. Terribly. Derek, the bartender, he was wondering what the hell we were talking about. But he goes, "Oh, Sylvester Stallone's in Guardians," and James is like, "Yes!" He just was like, not grasping it at all.
He's a space pirate. I'm in space. I like ravaging stuff.
Hey, let's get back into the episode. James, where were we last? James, Suds, or Grant, where were we last?
They're on Comedy Central.
Yeah, we're back.
Yes.
It's
we're back. That was at the very, very end, which is...
No. Bender said that in the very beginning because he said that previously during the first movie, if you'll recall, during Bender's big score.
We're back,
he
baby.
says, "Yeah, we're back, baby." Like really excitedly, but then in this episode he just goes, he's like filing his nails. He's like, "Yeah, we're back."
Yeah.
No, see, I didn't catch that. I only caught the very, very end.
Oh,
where
okay.
they
they do.
Wall, where it's like, "Yeah, we're back," but it wasn't. But
They do it at the end.
It's like the only time they acknowledge the fact that they're
Well, they break the fourth
Back to
wall
the
at the in the beginning of this episode as well, when they're talking
about the Comedy Central channel.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. Yeah, we're back on some kind of channel, some kind of comedy channel. It's a centralized channel. Or something.
Yeah.
Amy does one of my favorite type of jokes in this as well, like where a character says something like, and just another character's like, "I get it," like, in the background.
Yeah.
And Fry's usually the one to do that, but I think he was more concerned with Leela at this point.
Yeah.
So moving on, we see what happens. The professor explains that
he's murdered a bunch of healthy adults to get their stem cells.
It's not harmful. Oh, yeah, it's not harmful. It's just I had to kill a bunch of healthy adults to get myself.
That might show kind of the age of this episode, because when is the last time that you heard about stem cells in any sort of controversial?
Well, I think it still does come up. The only time I've heard about it in the past couple of years, I guess, is there are still Republican efforts to prevent people from using that to study health issues.
Yeah, because
that's death. Yeah, they love death.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except when it comes to conception. The moment that a baby is conceived, they love that.
Yeah, everyone needs to be born and work in the turnip fields.
Yeah.
If you weren't aware, the Republicans want you to be born and then die horribly.
Yeah.
That's their entire position right now, I think.
They do not want you to not be born. They are strongly against that. They want you to be born under any circumstances whatsoever.
Yes.
But once you are out of the womb, I don't know, if you get eaten by a bird or something, they seem to be fine with that. They don't seem to care.
Yeah.
No.
They just want you born.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you to figure out how to survive.
We just got to keep making babies. Everything else, you're on your own.
Yeah.
But we'll stand up for baby rights.
Yes. Yeah.
No, and vote for people who like to have sex with underage women.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh.
Or grab women by the pussies.
I feel like we should take a moment to talk about this.
Well, this is going to be... I don't know when this episode is going to come out necessarily. We're recording this pre the Alabama election.
Oh, okay.
So...
Well, just fuck Roy Moore and...
Yeah, seriously.
I see this conversation has gone south real fucking quick.
And we don't know the outcome at this point, but if you do vote for him, fuck you asshole.
Yeah, absolutely fuck you. The fucking Republicans are fine. They are fine with voting for some fucking asshole who has molested teenagers. They will vote for that person just because he is not a Democrat?
Yeah, because he doesn't support abortion.
He
needs those babies to be born for...
Well, so he can molest them 10 years later.
I was trying not to go there.
Roy Moore is a fucking asshole. I hope he dies soon. Fuck you, Roy Moore.
And I'm still pissed off at Al Franken, but at least he had the good grace to resign.
Yeah.
Well, I like how his apology was really... It wasn't really an apology so much as how can you allow Trump to still be in office given what he's admitted to doing.
Well, that was his initial response, but that was before like the 6 or 7 or 8 more accusations.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, I know that he was basically like, well, this is not so bad as what the President of the United States of America has admitted to doing.
Yeah.
It's a good point, but it's not his point to make.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, just apologize and resign.
I just like the fact that he brought light to that situation. Like, I think a lot of people are kind of ignoring the fact that Trump did this, which is just as egregious as a lot of the things that have gotten people fired from jobs in Hollywood. So, I mean, the fact that he's still the president of the United States. And, I don't know. I just think it's the more that people shed light on that, probably the better. So.
Oh my God, we got way down the political rabbit
hole.
We're
about what would you say, 2.5 minutes into the actual Futurama episode?
Oh, yeah, what have we talked about? Like 3 minutes of the episode.
We've only acknowledged that it's the new season. That's it. We haven't gotten.
This was explained to you.
They haven't even been reborn yet.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They're still in the whatever that fetal stuff.
The placenta.
Stem cells.
I'm covered in placenta.
Yeah, but okay, so they're all of their bodies are destroyed because in the last movie, as we saw, the professor. What was it that he said about the protective spheres?
Oh, you're.
It was only it only covered their heads.
Well, the professor was completely protected,
right. But
everyone else just had the head sphere, so their bodies are dead.
Right, and I like that. I liked how every person's like Zoidberg. His skeleton was like a fish.
I saw that. Yeah, that was good.
Was like gears and cogs and shit.
Yeah.
Kid is just a bunch of like sacks.
It's just his organs. He doesn't even have.
How did they survive the explosion? Everyone else's bones. Kif actually has like organs and stuff.
Everybody else's organs were gone, but Kif's kept his.
Yeah.
But here's what I have to say about that. That is a large vat of stem cells. The professor had to kill a lot of people, unless he's like, cutting it with something. But
excuse me, what?
He's diluting the stem cells.
Well, I don't know. That's a big. He's got an above ground swimming pool full of stem cells, essentially.
So some of this is stem cells, but I also put in some baking soda.
Well, I don't know.
So,
maybe.
Are you asking how is it possible that he has a swimming pool full of stem cells?
Yes.
And nobody's questioned where all these people or what happened to all these people?
Well, I wouldn't say nobody's questioning it.
Missing people.
Nobody's questioning it because the professor did say that he murdered healthy humans to get them. But I just think that that's a large vat of stem cells. That's a lot of humans that he would have had to have killed.
Question: is there any point does it mention him having any type of stock in the suicide booths?
Oh, it's not, but that's a good question.
Maybe he's getting him from the suicide.
Oh.
Grant
Okay.
with the reasonable answer here. That is what I'm talking about.
So we think Grant has cracked this.
So you think the professor has maybe some stocks in the suicide booth?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, that could explain where he got all the stem cells from.
I mean, he has to get his money from somewhere. Clearly, he's not making any through the delivery business.
You know,
Well,
that's
they-
also a good point.
They've
can't be
only
making that much money off the
they
delivery
only
business.
delivered their 100th package like 2 seasons ago. So yeah, they're not making a lot of money off their
Where does
delivery
Farnsworth
service.
get all this money?
I don't know. That's a good. Well, maybe he has some sort of back channel with mom.
You know
yeah.
what? That's a good point.
I don't know.
That's
I
what,
don't
you know, Mom probably owns the suicide booth company.
Oh.
He's still got some stock from when he used to work there. That's
Okay.
This is a weird
I'm just
tapestry.
letting it go.
of-
You guys are having a good
Yeah,
conversation.
well, now we're
Let's just-
dissecting the market value of the Futurama universe.
I think this was
Sorry.
the best 5 minutes we've ever had on this podcast.
Everyone listening is riveted.
All right, so I'm just gonna go through a bunch of things I have on the list for this
Wait,
first couple minutes. here.
Can I say my next
You're
note?
gonna say you're drunkenly yelling at me.
Can I just say my next note? Shut up, Dave. DEFCON owl traps.
Yeah.
Did anybody see that?
No.
No.
Oh, there's a sign somewhere in the episode. Who cares? But DEFCON owl traps.
Yeah.
All right, so now that you've brought that up in your manner that you do,
Oh, okay.
hey, listen, I want to say something. Hey, listen, I want to say something.
Was that?
hate Lars.
I hate Lars. I hate him. He's fried. I hate him.
Well, as we see in this episode, no one is who they originally were.
That's true, they're all dead.
This is very much a crazy first episode to the new season.
Yeah.
Though I want to mention Yodel, Horror Cloth, stem cells work for robots.
Yeah, I always kind of wonder about that with Bender.
Well, he's like 40% some organic material. I'm sure we've heard him say that at some point in time.
He's 40% meatbag.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And as for the horror cloth, that's what I used to call the curtain they used to bring out at the horse track.
That's what I call my shower curtain.
Okay. Alright. We all have a different thing that we call a horror cloth. Alright. Excellent.
What is there? Just like, what color is your shower curtain?
It's see-through.
Is it
Can
see-through
you,
right
yeah,
now?
can you currently see through it?
Well, no, the outside.
Huh?
Yeah, that was perfect. So it's like, it's see-through, but it's just coated in like some black layer.
No, it's see-through. It's just got my dick behind it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, terrible. James, bad joke.
Okay, come up with a better one.
I don't have one. Sorry.
Well,
Alright,
then I guess we're back.
Again?
Yeah,
It seems like this would be the perfect time to take a ad break.
sure. Let's take an ad break.
All right, this is the Planet Express Delivery Pod, and we will be right back.
Hi, this is the crew from the Planet Express Delivery Podcast.
Hello.
We are just, this
Oh,
is
hey.
a commercial break. This is a commercial break.
This is a commercial break.
But we'd like to inform you, if you'd like to support the show, we do have several ways that you can do that. The one in particular that we are going to tell you about today, I'm going to pass this off to James right now because he has all the information, but he will tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm the one who owns a computer.
Exactly.
Okay. So
The instructions, the notes that you have there look very simple, though. It just says, send vodka.
it says send vodka.
Yeah, to support us.
Yes, just support us. Please send vodka to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We'll find it. Don't worry.
Sure.
We always do.
But if you want a more direct way to support the show, we do have a merch store through the site TeePublic, who we're affiliated with. If you would like, go to our website, planetexpresspod.podbean.com. click on the link in the episode description, and that'll take you directly to our merch page. Once you're there, we have dozens of designs for you to choose from. You pick the design you want, pick out t-shirt, hoodie, mug, laptop case, stickers, other things that I'm probably forgetting right now.
No, that's a lot. I didn't realize we had that much even.
Oh, no.
But that's awesome. Now I'm going to go and check it out. Because
I'm going to go buy
want-
some as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I will as well.
I think this sounds fantastic.
Okay, guys, you pushed that a little too far. I was trying to make it fun for everyone. Now it's not.
This is the funnest thing I've ever heard.
Actually, forget this plug. We're going to buy our own merch
We're
right
buying merch. Also, though, that is not the only way you can support us. As always, we do want to hear from you on our Facebook page and on all the places you can listen to our show, Podbean being our flagship.
You could maybe rate us on iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be nice of you to do.
We love hearing from, and we do have email addresses, which we'll give at the end of the show.
But any support that you guys can throw at the show is much appreciated. We are a completely DIY endeavor, and we did not expect the show to be even as big as it is, whatever modicum of success we've been able to achieve.
Yeah, I don't think we
throughout
can
this.
measure it at any, not at this point.
But if you want, please do leave us a review in the iTunes store and check out our merch page on TeePublic. Again, go to planetexpresspod.podbean.com to click the link that will lead you there. And everything goes right back into supporting the show. We do not get paid for this.
No, we do not.
We lose money every episode that we do.
Technically, we'd all be bankrupt right now.
We're not, you're not already?
No, I have
I'm there.
not filed.
I am fully in the red.
Well, that explains why our studio looks like shit.
Hey, fuck you.
I've changed my identity 6 times since we started this show.
All right, so yes, if you need any more information, there is an email address we'll give at the end of the show, and please send us money.
Just loose money.
Loose change. We love it.
Sacagawea dollars.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't touch me.
So Swen, what do you think, buddy?
Meow. Kith is the best character.
Meow. Kith is the best character. And we're back. We're back.
Woo!
Back from the commercial break.
Yeah. And around 4 minutes into the episode. All right.
Well, we're 4 minutes talking about the episode, but we are not 4 minutes into this episode at all.
But there was a bit in here that we all kind of laughed at, and it was Hermes' ass on the TV while they're
The live feed.
Well,
of
yeah,
the
because
shower.
they have cameras in every room of the Planet Express.
I'm
station.
surprised no one brought up the invasion of privacy that is. Just people
your
peeing in the
office
bathroom.
doesn't have urinal cams.
No. I don't think I've ever worked anywhere. I think the only place that I currently work that has cameras, I'm pretty sure that don't work, is Giant. Because I find a lot of shit that's been stolen, like empty packages, like stuffed behind other products. And it'll be like the most random thing, like empty candle holder, and I'm like, why would you even steal this?
There's a whole rotisserie chicken skeleton back here.
Oh, must have been Suds.
Oh yeah, because when I show up, I can't stop myself. I eat that whole chicken.
I just figured you just start picking at it when you're walking around.
You do.
Okay, all right.
Do you eat and shop?
Yeah,
you
of
just
course.
pick stuff up and start eating it as you shop, and then pay for the empty bag when
No, I don't
there,
pay
or you
for it.
just throw
I
away?
stick that
Okay.
carcass behind some box of like Raisin Bran.
Yeah. And a guy like me has to find it and be like, this is disgusting. Why is this? Why is there a chicken bone here?
how you go to the grocery store, you just want to get like a little walking around chicken to have. Like,
You need that.
Walking around chicken.
Walking around. All right, so let's jump ahead a little bit. We've talked kind of about how the crew has been rebirthed, is the word I'm going to use.
yeah.
God.
Born again? Is that better?
No. No, that's terrible.
How is that? Why is that terrible?
What are they, a
Because
bunch
then
of
they're all
evangelicals?
like, yeah, they're all gonna be like Mennonites now.
Mennonite? No. First thing I think is born again Christians.
Are the Mennonites not Christians?
I don't know if they would necessarily lump themselves into that.
I think they are.
They're like Amish.
Grant, are Mennonites Christians?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if Amish people are considered Christians. I don't know what they believe in. I mean, I know that they don't like modern amenities. Although I know that the difference between Amish and Mennonite is that the Mennonite do allow those amenities into the life. However, I know a lot of Amish communities are allowing them to use internet and so forth.
Oh, we're
in
getting
their
back to
business dealings.
Getting back to Grant's job.
No, but they allow them to use the internet and stuff so they can be competitive in the business market, because part of their religion says that they want them to be happy, and they think that being happy is being wealthy. No, I'm serious. Go down to the Reading Terminal in Philly, and you'll see a lot ofAmish people they're sitting there on their cell phones. Or even at the market here in Harrisburg, you'll see Amish kids on their phones. They're allowed to use them at work, but when they get home, it's...
It's my understanding of it is that they kind of shun anything that draws distraction from
the whole
faith.
work. Yes.
So it's like you can have like a cell phone or a car or anything, but you can't take it to the strip club. So,
funny story about the strip club and Mennonite / Amish folk. If you go to Savannah's, there is, I believe he is a Mennonite man, but he sits over in the VIP section and enjoys the naked ladies. I'm not even kidding. This is an actual thing.
I'll give you this whole hay penny for some ankle action.
Why are you so funny? That was good.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we just lost our Amish listenership.
I don't know what was funnier, the hay penny or the ankle action.
They're both really good. Yeah.
I will give you props for that one.
No, Suds gave me some vodka. It's loosening up my comedy glands.
Oh, good. Okay.
Anybody who listens to this probably thinks we are complete fucking derelicts.
I'm sure any of our international listeners are just like, so this is what America is like, huh?
Just drink all day and do podcasts.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Amish people at strip clubs and
Pennsylvania is
Amish
weird.
strippers, apparently.
Not Amish strippers, just the Amish patron. Who I love seeing him. I haven't been there in a long time. I think the last time I was at the strip club was with the two gentlemen that are with me right now, Suds and James.
Wait, is that when we saw the band?
We went to the
Futurama theme named band?
No, well, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was Headache with Pictures.
We went with Tara as well.
Yeah,
that was for that. That was for that band.
Geez,
yeah.
All right. No, I didn't see the Amish guy that time.
I didn't see him.
That is the last time we were there, or anybody.
No,
went
I've
to the
been there.
strip club with me.
I've been there since.
Seriously?
Yeah, I
You
was.
guys were so fucking uncomfortable.
You and Shannon went one night, right?
I went with Shannon. Yeah.
How drunk were you?
I was struggling to stay awake.
Oh boy.
It was bad. But her friend Ron kept putting $100 worth of ones in front of me, and I was just throwing them around. I wish I had just put them in my wallet.
That's not...
I was just tossing them.
Yes, me, Shannon from Shady's, and her millionaire friend Ron. It was a fucking disaster.
Sounds like a millionaire.
And then we all left, and I asked Shannon to take me home, and she told me no, so I went home with her, get back to her place. Her and her husband are hanging out, and I'm like, Ron goes to the basement to go to sleep, and I'm like, well, I should, I'm gonna leave now, so I got an Uber. I had no idea where I was at that point in time. No idea. All I know is that I spent at least $100 on strippers. Got nothing out of it. Like, I got nothing to the point of like I was so drunk that I wasn't even enjoying them being in front of me. I was just throwing dollar bills. I couldn't see a foot in front of me.
So you couldn't even see that ankle.
So you couldn't even see their feet, yeah.
No. Ron just kept coming over and be like, "Hey, go get more beers." Tossed down 100 in front of me. I'm like, "Okay, I'll take this change," and just throw it at some naked lady. I had no idea what was going on.
Oh god. I'm gonna have to ask Shannon about that.
She told us about it the next day. Like Suds was not around. Like,
I can't imagine I was around for a couple of days after that.
No, Shannon was telling us all about it. Like when we went back to the bar afterwards, and yeah, like the way she described it is exactly the way that Michael just described it. Just like, yeah, my friend is rich. Suds was drunk. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the episode. We've got
Alright, so Leela doesn't come out of the stem cell machine. We are literally 2 minutes into the Futurama episode.
Well, we've moved on.
She comes out of the machine, but she's in a coma, and the way that she wakes up is they're at her funeral's not the right word because they're about to feed her to a Cyclops eating monster.
The cyclophage.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about how Fry builds a robot Leela.
Yes. Yes, he does. And he got all Blade Runner on them, right?
Yeah, that's when all
I can't
Blade
remember
Runner.
exactly what all Blade Runner because he fell in love with the android.
Still haven't seen the new one.
Why am I the only one?
I still haven't seen the original.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, they're both good. The original is.
What are you gonna say, Grant? Come on, let me hear what you gotta say.
I mean, all right. So I saw the first one maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So not having seen it when it first came out, I can the whole visually groundbreaking thing is kind of lost on me. I mean, I can see why they said it was. I mean, I thought it was good, and there's all these like fan fiction ideas behind Harrison Ford really being a replicant. Just like all the other characters are, like Rutger Hauer and so forth. I thought it was good. And the remake I thought was also good. But those people who are like huge Blade Runner fans, I mean...
There's two here.
Mm-hmm.
Like huge Blade Runner fans, I get it. I don't know. It's like people who are like also huge into Dune.
Okay, now that's a different story.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
I
get it, but I don't know. I mean, they're good. They're good.
You're right. It also, from 1989, groundbreaking at the time.
Dune?
No. Blade Runner.
85.
Well,
85?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You get your shit together.
I'm never going to get my shit together. It's never going to happen. You need to stop asking me to do that.
I'm not asking.
You're demanding? Is that what it is?
Just do it.
I'm not doing any of it. Well, story-wise, did you enjoy the story?
Well, for the first Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Overall? Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I do like it a lot. I thought the newest Blade Runner with Ryan Gosling, I enjoyed that a lot more than I did the original Blade Runner.
Okay, alright.
But I think maybe that's just because the original Blade Runner, the first couple times I saw it, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know much of the backstory.
Thought you were going into a different type of movie, probably.
Well, no, I didn't know what to expect, really, to be honest with you, when I went into it. But it was just, I don't know, the whole, because it's Ridley Scott, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The replicants, the whole thing behind the replicants kind of confused me with when I saw it the first time around.
Well, now you know what to look forward to, Suds. You're going to be confused.
No, I wouldn't say confused.
No, I've already read a bunch of reviews and interviews, and so I know exactly what goes on.
You spoiled it?
Yeah.
Why do you do that to yourself?
I can't. I can't. I don't know.
Could you just smack him around a
She
little?
yells at me all the time.
You're like ruining everything for yourself. It's irritating.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, she hates it.
Well, okay, so one question I did have about Blade Runner That little
I can
test-
answer it because I've read enough reviews about it that I know.
Well, no. Well, you guys know about it. So that little test that they do to determine whether or not, well, like in the new Blade Runner, whether or not Ryan Gosling's replicant has gone berserk or whatever, like gone haywire. They ask him a series of questions, and then how he answers those questions determines whether or not he's going to be scrapped because he's non-compliant or whatever. But don't they do that to Harrison Ford's character in the first one at one point?
No.
They don't? Okay.
Harrison Ford asked the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, so where did the whole theory that Harrison Ford is a replicant come from?
It's
Is that
because
just fan fiction?
It's because of the little origami figures that Edward James Olmos's character leaves.
He's also a Blade Runner, so
But he's not a replicant.
no.
Okay.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, I'm
He's
not
also
gonna
in it.
spoil any.
I'm never gonna watch it.
You are dude. You're gonna watch it.
I want my DVDs back.
It's right there.
I know.
You know, if you guys do the Suds hasn't seen whatever podcast you're planning on doing with all the movies, I would like to be involved with that because I'm more of a movie person.
Okay. Yeah.
And there are some movies that you've told me you haven't seen before. Like you said, you haven't seen Goonies, right?
No, I've seen Goonies.
RoboCop.
I've seen RoboCop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you told me you haven't
Total
seen.
Recall.
never saw that. No.
That blew my mind. You haven't seen. I don't know. Well, we'll come
I've
back
never
to that at some
seen
point.
Ford Fairlane,
Yes. You
starring
have.
Andrew Dice Clay. Hey, it's me.
Hey, Little Miss Muffin sat on the cover, eating her curds away. Along came the spider, sat down beside her and said, "Yo, bitch, what's in the bowl?"
Hey, I'm
That's
a
what
rock.
it is. That's like the
Boom.
most famous stand-up.
Hey, I'm a rock and roll investigator.
Oh god.
How old is that movie?
I don't know, but you can all thank Grant because he loaned that movie to me. You can thank
bought
him for any Andrew Dice Clay
I
I've
bought
done
it from the clearance
impression of it.
tub at Walmart.
No. I told him I love that movie. It's fucking terrible, but I love that movie. And how many times did you guys watch it?
We watched the first 10 minutes and gave up on it, but I want to watch it again.
Oh,
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, God.
I think you thought it was funny, but
I think we're high.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's get back into the show. We are only like 3 or 4
So
minutes.
I'm covered in
Oh.
placenta. Is that where we? Oh wait, no. I think we stopped off where.
Let's jump ahead a little bit.
No, I think we left off where Hypnotoad begins the episode.
Yeah,
by
so-
saying here.
Hypnotoad wearing a collar opens the episode. And
Sorry.
there's a math joke in here.
Mm.
I don't know that I want. They go when Bender needs to party all the time. It's the doomsday device that the professor shoved all up in him.
It's just to like run off the energy that he has, like the extra. He's got 50 gigawatts, which is 10 times. What are you, my warranty?
So they go to. Oh god, this is Studio 1 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 3.
Yeah, so it's
Yes.
Studio 54, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that math would work out.
That's one of those things that I'm sure in the writer's room, David X. Cohen was just insistent that they have this joke in there.
We have to have this joke.
Well, maybe we can get David X. Cohen on the line.
Well, call him up.
Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep.
You know how phones sound now.
Yeah. Bring,
Hello?
oh, hello, Mr. Cohen.
Who is this?
This is, Suds. We talked to you before on this
Oh,
podcast.
thank God you called me back.
Oh, wait, what do you mean, thank God?
Oh, I've been waiting in the larder for years waiting for you to call.
Alright, so, can we just get to the chase? Can we ask you a question about this, episode of Futurama?
Yes, I'd love to answer a question. Anything else? Can I bake you something? Would you like a foot rub?
I would appreciate a foot rub. My toesie's been hurting.
I bought the plane ticket. I'll be out there in 9 hours.
Okay, perfect. But in the meantime, can I just ask you, like, you know, when you wrote that joke about the what is it, the square root or something of two different numbers? Oh, Studio 54.
That was such a good joke.
Okay, so what was it? 1 to the square of 2. 1 and then 2. Oh, then 3 to the square of 2. Like, what was going through your mind when you wrote that?
First of all, let me just say, you've replicated my joke perfectly. That's exactly how I wrote it.
David, who are you talking to? Is that Futurama podcast, guys, again?
Stay out of this.
Hang up the phone, damn it.
No, I'm talking to people, Mother.
No. You're not allowed to speak to anyone.
Excuse me, David X. Cohen.
Yes.
Are you having some issues over there?
No, it's fine. Mother
I told you not to talk about the sassy robot.
I told you I'm playing with my action figures.
Do I have to get Matt on the phone?
Don't call Matt. He'll hit me.
I'm getting Matt on the phone.
No!
Beep boop boop beep boop boop boop. Ring, ring. Matt, David's talking about the sassy robot again.
Oh, God damn it. David, I told you you shouldn't be talking about the sassy robots on podcasts anymore. I want to talk to them. Please, just leave me alone. No, I think I'm going to have to come over there. I'm going to bring the belt again.
Good. He needs a good beating. He needs a very good beating. Since his father left, I'll tell you, he just keeps talking about this sassy robot.
Mother, hang up the phone. I'm in enough trouble with Mr. Graining already.
This is my house, and as long as you're in my basement, I will stay on the phone and listen to your conversations.
I'm sorry, but I think I have to hang up now. They'll lock me in the closet if I don't do it. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Stop calling.
So can I continue this interview, or am I, like, being shut down here?
No, I think they all hung up on us.
Gone.
I forget who I was talking to. At this
Yeah.
point.
Continue.
Yeah. So why is Bender the reason that Leela wakes up?
Because he burps?
He burps flames, but they already did the bit where they like shake her around and hit
And
her
also,
with that.
and also
That was the
Fry blasted her with a Louisville Slugger.
Wake up, I love you! As he's hitting her with the baseball bat repeatedly.
Yeah.
That explains why a lot of my relationships haven't worked out.
You gotta be gentle. You gotta show your lover that you care about
I'm
her.
just a very passionate person.
I don't know why I said that. That's weird.
Jeez.
That's not how you treat someone you care about?
Oh, normally I hit them around with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Specifically a Louisville Slugger.
So as Leela wakes up, the cyclophage is about to show up. And the cyclophage is basically this giant one-eyed monster that eats
Only Cyclops. Only Cyclops.
one-eyed things.
But it is a Cyclops.
Yes.
Yeah.
So does anyone see
It's just a picky eater.
it likes to eat things that are like itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't we all?
For a one-eyed creature, it had really good depth perception. Because it was right on top of those. It was on top of
Those two Leelas.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's a good point. And it does attach itself to the ship pretty easily.
Ooh.
Here's another.
Well, it sticks its tongue out and grabs the ship, but then it gets taken out into space, which I have some issues with.
Of course.
How does the cyclophage survive its tongue attached to the ship getting taken out into space when they're traveling? And then also, like, I have a note that says, what happened to the cyclophage? Because I didn't remember what happens for the rest of the episode. But then we see it again, and it's just alive. Like, it just existed in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, well, you're basing your limits on what we know as human beings. But there's an infinite amount of universes out there with an infinite amount of planets, so there's an infinite amount of possibilities.
Thank you, Grant.
So
It's like
just
space-time.
quell your questions right there.
Exactly.
Just appreciate it for what it is.
But we're only talking about one universe, and that's the Futurama universe.
Which apparently there's only one other universe in.
There is only one. Yeah, they all wear cowboy hats.
Stetsons. Yeah.
I mean, there's two
Oh
universes.
wait, Stetsons? Are you wanting to specify a brand?
Yes.
You think they're all Stetsons?
Yes.
Because I do know for sure they never mentioned it.
They never mentioned that? You know that for sure? Especially since you couldn't remember about the cyclophage later on in the episode.
Do you want to challenge me as to whether or not Bender specifies a brand
No, because
of cowboy hat that they wear in the parallel universe?
I would hate for you to be wrong.
This episode of the podcast brought to you by Stetson.
Stetson!
Apparently,
the best
we make
cowboy
hats.
hat I've ever had.
10 gallons? That's what you can wear on your head. Alright, so I'm getting away from this.
Stetson.
Yeah. Dave, can you
Buy it or you're gay.
Dave, can you reel it in here?
Yeah, I'm
Bro.
trying to reel it in. I have a couple notes here. This goes back to what you were saying earlier about Bender.
Something super smart, probably?
Always.
Okay.
Always. Bender partying in the background. And
Yeah.
This is like immediately after the classic doubles fighting scene. You know, like in a show where there's an evil twin and they're battling and someone has to shoot.
Well, yeah. And I feel like there was like, am I wrong, or was this very reminiscent of some like Star Trek the original series? I feel like there was some episode where there was like clones or something.
Oh no, they do an evil universe. Like it's just the flip side of the so everyone's a bad guy basically. Everyone that's a good guy is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Spock has like a.
Does he have a mustache?
He has like a goatee. He has
Goatee?
yeah, that's all. He
Wait.
has a goatee.
You're kind of describing yourself. You're
This
like
is not a goatee.
You're like, what the fuck is it then?
It's not connected. A goatee is all the way around. This is mustache, chin patch.
Chin patch sounds grosser.
I don't know how to actually describe it. We've talked about this already several times. People have described me that I've heard Van Dyke.
Van Dyke?
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Because that's, I've heard the Jack Sparrow.
Right there.
Which is just kind of like
Oh, you do look like a sort of a Jack Sparrow situation.
That's like a cheap way of describing it.
But he's got the scarf. His pants are too short and they're rolled up. He's got some boots on.
They're not too.
He's got a shirt with a bunch.
Down.
He's got a shirt with a bunch of buttons.
He's wearing a puffy shirt and he runs effeminately.
Yeah.
He's drinking some rum.
I love rum.
I think Dave is going for the Jack Sparrow.
A lot of people don't realize
Extremely Irish Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
he's wearing a lot of rings.
Look at all those rings.
And
Jesus.
bracelets.
I didn't even notice this.
Yeah,
knee-high boots.
Wait,
he said he was wearing boots, but he didn't specify how high they were.
What is that ring that is on your ring finger that looks like a pyramid? Why are you wearing that one?
The pyramid ring?
Yeah.
It's part of the, being a corporate shill. You have to wear one of those. Throwback here.
That is comedy poison.
I am not the comedic one in this group.
I was trying to improvise with you and you fucking just...
No, I got nothing.
Dave, you're not yes-anding right now.
Yes, and? So, off of my facial hair and back onto the...
There's something that Fry said in this that I'm going to throw out as a band name right now. The vast majority of explosions.
Oh.
I like that.
This is... Okay, so I had an idea years ago for a band name that was very similar to that. And I can't remember where it even came from. It was like some show that I liked at the time. But I thought that this name would be perfect for a band name. I love that. Here's what mine was. A vast collection of assholes.
I've heard that before.
It's from something. I don't know what it is though.
A vast collection of assholes.
It's from like some show or something. I don't know where I took it from, but I always thought that would be a good name for a band too.
That sounds like something that would be on Archer.
I don't like Archer. So
Sounds like Trump's cabinet.
Oh, shit!
And we're back! Grant for the win!
When Grant said that, I know our listeners couldn't see, but when Grant said that, he dumped out his beer, he threw his beer down on the floor. Shit, that was tight, dude.
And I leaned in as well.
Yeah.
Got close to the mic.
Make sure that's on.
Did you hear that, everybody?
Very intimate.
They will hear that. You got the good mic.
You got the excellent mic. So, vast collection of assholes. What type of music would that be?
Grindcore.
We always go to grindcore with our bands.
I'm thinking bagpipes.
Played by assholes.
Yeah. Fart pipes.
Fart bagpipes.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that a vast collection of assholes is something from Mr. Show. Now that I think.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think it is. I
Okay.
think it is.
Alright, so yeah, that would
Mr.
be in
Show,
line
it's Bob
with
and
the
David.
bagpipes.
See, like dubstep with bagpipes and auto tune.
We're just giving terrible people horrible ideas right now.
Yeah.
You realize that.
No, someone out there is listening to this right now, just like, no, that's not a bad idea.
Brilliant!
It sounds good. Can't believe we never thought of that before.
I don't even know enough about dubstep to badly improvise a bagpipe solo.
No, I don't even, I just imagine a guy, yo, I got a great idea. These guys in America, they came up with this fucking awesome idea. We're stealing it.
So check this out. So dubstep. You know how repetitive and seizure-inducing that music is. We throw in some bagpipes, and on top of that, man, I can't think. What's even worse than bagpipes?
I mean, it's a perfect pairing since both genres just sound like a wall of sheep being tortured.
Oh, God.
Tortured sheep, dubstep.
That's the name of the album, Tortured Sheep.
Tortured sheep.
For all the people who buy it, because there would be a lot of people buying it.
So we got
sheep.
For the sole purpose of just like, I bought this sheep album. It's really weird, but it also makes me hungry.
a vast majority of assholes, parentheses, Trump's cabinet, album name, Tortured Sheep. I think it goes well together.
We've just created the worst idea for a project in music history.
Yet I feel like someone will love it.
This is gonna be worse than Eddie Murphy's album.
Oh, God. Party every time? Party every day.
Just like Bender.
Yeah.
Has to party all the time.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I thought somebody mentioned Eddie Murphy.
We did.
Yeah, that was it. My girl.
Which was produced by Rick James.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
Do you have any idea how much cocaine is on that album?
Oh, there's a lot.
How much cocaine they did off the album when it came out? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people bought it not knowing what to expect.
Both. They did. There is so much. That record was created in a flurry of narcotics.
I love it. It sounds like a spectacular idea.
But we're kind of closing in on the end of the episode right now when we find out not only is there a robot Leela, but there's also a robot Fry. The Fry that we've been going with this entire time.
Yeah, there's kind of a twist at the end of this episode.
When the real Fry is birthed from the stem cell vat.
And he asks, "Hey, where's my shoes?"
Hey, where's my shoes?
Where's my shoes?
The best line in that is one of the best lines. There is another line coming up at the end of the episode which made me crack up and always does. But I love the dumb shit like that, especially like early on. I mentioned the Amy. I get it, like shit like so.
I get that too.
Hey, you weren't here, so you're not part of the
Oh, okay.
in the know.
I mean, you don't have to be so transparent. I mean, I feel like you try to make a pretty seamless podcast.
Yeah, we try. But you keep fucking shit up. I don't know why we let you back on the show every time we
At least
come to
you
your
just want to take
apartment.
over from this point on.
Yeah, I feel like you would be better suited for this.
Wait, what the fuck?
We're replacing you mid-show.
What?
You've been
It's
canceled.
because I said that earlier.
And Cinnamon, why don't you get in on this as well?
Yeah, just keep gyrating, make the gyrating noises.
Yeah, don't stop dancing, but just lean in.
Okay, so we find out that Fry and Leela both did kind of the same thing by creating robots of their significant others. And there is a part they have voices change. Robots don't look the same as they did when they were initially made.
They are more sophisticated, like
Terminator.
exoskeleton
Yeah,
type
like
things.
T-1000 type robots at
Yeah.
this point.
Well, at the end of no, not the T-1000 was the liquid one.
You're thinking of the
T1.
T800.
The T-800?
That's the
T800 was the
Schwarzenegger
Arnold Schwarzenegger model.
That'd be awesome if they were. I love that there is so much pop culture bringing into the... You are awesome. We need to have you on again. We've just found another great guest.
I've been trying to tell them.
For those of you out there who cannot see my face right now, I'm blushing.
Yeah, look, you need to be back on. You picking up all the pop culture cues. I love it.
He's also taking his shirt off for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why you're stripping down,
I
man.
don't quite understand why he's wearing his whitey tighties at this point.
Pop
So-
culture makes me hot. I can't-
Just get comfortable. You know.
In fairness, we did tell him make himself at home, so
Yeah.
And I don't know why you tell our guests that in my apartment, because I feel like that should be up to me to say, and I didn't want to tell him, because I knew if we had told him that, he would be sitting in his whitey tighties like he's currently doing. But...
no, you'll fuck it up if you say it. It's easier this way.
Okay, well, I just would appreciate it if you didn't take control of my apartment.
No, shut up.
This is our recording studio, though, as well. So, technically we have some say as to what goes on here.
No, you have no say whatsoever.
The best part is there was a second where he was thinking about
I had
it.
to process what I was saying.
That's like, if you've ever had someone say something so profoundly stupid to you that it takes a minute to just like, well, wait, no, what the hell?
Dave, you have no say whatsoever.
Oh, yes, I do. I know you will.
Try again, buddy boy, or whatever somebody from the 80s movies would say.
You're done.
Okay.
You're done.
Does anybody have some weed I can smoke? Because I think I need a lot more.
You need to pick me up? Is that what you're saying? Alright, so when the Robot Fry and Leela reveal themselves completely, they pull off their, skin. They rip the skin down, and they start talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And just... It's random. Amy just is like, why did their voices change? And nobody even...
That's the one thing we'll never know.
Is that...
Yeah.
Now, I was expecting a response to that, too, because somebody in the background usually no, we know, or here's why, because the professor had been saying that the whole episode, and he kind of goes on to do something similar to that.
I mean, I kind of took that as just a play off of how absurd this entire episode has been, and then the one thing that we'll never know is probably the most explainable. Why did the robots' voices change? It's one line of dialogue. It's just the professor saying, oh, it's because of this thing. As opposed to, and so there was this robot, and then Fry died, and then there was another robot, and then Leela died, and then we had another robot, and then this whole convoluted thing.
Well, it's already we are so convoluted.
I think convoluted is a key word for this whole episode.
Yeah.
Is kind of, throw together to explain the reason why we're back and why everybody's not dead. After we thought we were going to be over last season.
They breeze through it, too. They don't even... Nobody is asking any questions.
Yeah, that's a credit to them, though. I mean, they did push through it pretty hard. I mean, I guess it kind of sets the rest of the episodes up too, though, for the rest of the seasons, where they kind of set up this surreal timeline. You know, like where basically they can do whatever the hell they want from this point going forward. Because they kind of do. I mean, it gets a little outlandish going forward.
Well, it makes
In
sense
terms of-
now that you're bringing it up to what I was asking earlier, the timeline being all weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you actually kind of explain it. Now they can do whatever they want. Like, they don't need to stick to any, we're finishing this up because our fans keep telling us they want more Futurama. Fuck it. Let's do more Futurama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves the movies, except for us now.
I hate the fucking movies. I'm never watching the movies
No,
again.
they're terrible. I hate them.
No, the movies are amazing. It's just like I hate talking about them and kind of hate you guys now a little bit too.
Stop bringing up the fucking movies then.
Wait, your opinion of Dave and I has changed after doing the movies? Like, you like us less than you did before, and you used to hate us, so I don't know what we're dealing with now.
I will say, like, I've left your apartment feeling legitimately angry like a couple of times over the past, 2 months that we've been doing the movies.
Okay.
That explains why he drinks so heavily when we get to the bar.
Brad, do you have vodka? Yeah, just set it on fire and throw it at my head.
Right at my face. Alright, so this is also bringing back something else. You and Suds, Grant and Suds were talking about. The cyclophage shows back up.
Yeah, and Bender kind of saves the day, but also was planning to kill everyone.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah,
tired of partying.
he didn't give a shit about the rest of the crew. He just wound up saving all of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a Bender move.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Inadvertently being the hero.
yeah.
Like with the episode where he has the whole civilization was what they're...
Oh, what is that, Godfellas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the thing about Bender's character that I've always liked a lot, and that's why I think Bender is one of the best characters ever that's ever been created. Is because he's, he's not a good person, but he ends up being a good person, even though he's not a person. I think he tries to pretend like he doesn't like Fry, but deep down he loves Fry.
Yeah,
But
and we see that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like you were saying with the whole thing with Bender.
Are you wait?
Like you were saying.
Yeah, Suds. He was.
Well, I don't know what I was saying.
You don't know what you're saying. All right. Let's. I'm gonna try and wrap this up.
Yeah, please do.
Just there are a few things I want to mention.
Grant, we've done this for 85 episodes.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Is this 85?
This is 86.
Oh, jeez.
You guys are up there. So
we're
there's
getting
140 total, so you're halfway through.
For some reason, people care about this. I don't know why.
They love it. They love us, and they're gonna love you when you come back on, Grant.
Yes, Grant.
He's contemplating it very hard. I don't know if I want to do it again.
Hey, my cat
I'll come
Swain.
back.
My cat
I'll come
Swain
back.
wants to be here again.
You would definitely be
I'll
on.
prepared.
Suds.
I'll be a little more prepared. next time.
Suds hasn't seen it too. You can be part of that as well, which we're going to start soon. Suds hasn't seen it. The movie podcast. We'll get you in on that.
That I would like to throw my 2 cents in a lot more on because I know.
Well, what movie do you want?
Well, we can discuss
yeah, we'll
that
talk about that
after.
at some other
We'll
point.
talk about it after the episode. Okay.
I remember a discussion at Shady's where there were at least 10 or 15 movies that I threw out there and you had never seen, and I was surprised you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
We're wrapping up the show. The last funny thing that I want to mention is the last line of the episode. It is with Zach Brannigan, who does have a couple words early on in the episode, but I don't know if they're worth mentioning. He gets shot out of the above ground pool of placenta, and he's just like, whee! Which made me laugh incredibly hard because it's so dumb, but it's typical of Zach Brannigan's character. And that's kind of where the episode ends. Well, no, that is where the episode ends. It ends on that note.
All right, before we get into Slurmies, can I just bring this up for a moment.
Well, if there's anything you guys like this, he's going to bring some shit up. If there's anything you want to mention, Grant, before we get to our rating system, go ahead after Suds is done talking.
All right. So when Grant and I were talking about this episode earlier today, before we started recording, he actually brought up another episode that he confused this with. But then, having watched this episode, I can understand why he confused it. Because do you guys maybe see the similarities between Rebirth and The Sting in the sense that there was sort of a switcheroo with, in The Sting, you think that Fry got stung and killed, or wait, was it?
Well, no. Leela went into a coma.
Right, but it turns out that Fry was the one that got stung. And then in this episode, there is a switcheroo where you think that Leela was the one who didn't come out. But there was like a previous sort of storyline where Fry was the one who died. I don't know. I see some weird parallels there that they kind of recreated, and it.
Yeah, well, I think what you were talking about with Sting was that Leela thought that Fry was dead. But in actuality, the stinger went through Fry and stung Leela. So Leela was really the one that was...
Right, yes.
So, yeah, it was like the old switcheroo. It felt kind of... this episode kind of felt like they were doing that same kind of spiel.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way.
And it felt like for being the first episode back, it wasn't as good and as glorious as it should have been. Like I think they kind of like the first episode back, they use it as a way to set everything up for what they were going to do, and it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they kind of had to do that.
Retreading old ground kind of thing.
Sorry. Yeah.
That happens a lot, though. I mean,
It does.
A lot of television kind of. Wait, what were we talking about last week with House? It's lupus.
Oh, yeah. They use the same terminology over and over again. It's always lupus! It's always lupus!
So, that being said, we are at the end of the episode. We will do Slurmies now. I am going to let Suds go first.
Oh, Jesus.
Because you are the silly guy over here who needs to...
You can just say drunkest.
Yeah, I'm going to say drunk.
Can I, relay my vote to someone else?
You don't want to vote?
No.
Okay, fine.
You just got shut down, man. Do your fucking slurry.
Alright. I don't know. This episode is fucking funny. I like a lot of the storyline. It's just another one of those episodes, though, where a lot of people die, and we are introduced to their clones or whatever, and so I'm really sincerely interested in looking at a timeline of the events from the first episode onward. Which person is there any person that we met in the first episode that is still in existence today in the Futurama timeline, because they die, or there's a clone brought in, or they're in a parallel universe and then they all die and then other people come in. That is, I'm very interested in the sci-fi aspect of that.
I think the professor and Randy are the only ones.
They might be the only ones. As far as this being, well, I think it's imperative to say.
Oh.
Big
word there.
And let me just rub my beard.
Stroke your beard.
Imperative. This is the first episode of the Comedy Central run. I think that's very important. God. Okay, so also this is after the movies, which we just fucking went through, which was a fucking nightmare.
Stop bringing it up. Just rate the damn episode already.
I do want to say that I feel like I've read online that there seems to be people who can notice a difference between like the original run and then the Comedy Central run. And personally, I don't see it. There might be some little bit different of animation here and there, but regards to quality, I don't see it. I think they continue to nail it from season 7 on. I don't know. I think this is a good episode. It's not great. I wish they had done better with the introduction on Comedy Central, but I don't know. I give this probably like a 3.45 Slurmies.
All right, it's pretty middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't love it. I think it could have been better. It's an okay up.
All right, so you mentioned that like this being the first episode of the first season that they did on Comedy Central, which in a lot of ways I honestly prefer, because I think that working with Comedy Central and the fact that it's the network that does like South Park and other, like a lot of other syndicated animated shows that are on there, you probably have a lot more freedom to play around with whatever you're doing than you would on Fox. But I'm also not super certain that that's necessarily a good thing. When we talk about like classic Futurama episodes, so many of the ones that immediately come to mind are episodes that they did during the Fox runs, like Godfellas or Luck of the Friarish or Jurassic Bark, with, some notable exceptions in the Comedy Central era. But I'm going to bring this up because it was only in the past couple of days that I rewatched The Phantom Menace. And
Seriously?
I remember what happens to art when you don't have pushback. Like, Star Wars would not have been nearly half as good as it was if George Lucas has had his say on everything. He needed the studio to intervene on it. And that's kind of what I'm thinking now for the Comedy Central seasons. Don't get me wrong, I still like them, but there's not the same conflict that there seems to be with a lot of the Fox episodes. In any case, for Rebirth, that's exactly what it is. It's kind of like the pilot take 2, where it's just, they've been, like, they made the movies, but they haven't been creating a TV show for years at this point. It's essentially they have to reinvent the entire thing from scratch. So, for all of that, I mean, I think that this was a pretty well-written episode. It got through all of the milieu of the Futurama universe and kind of sorted through how they were going to get out of the uncertainty of leaving the last movie. And so I really do like this episode. It's one that, I will frequently go back and watch, and I'm going to give it 4.3 Slurmies.
All right. Wow. James, you're at the high end right now. Let's find out what else. Grant, would you like to go next, or would you like to go after me?
No, well, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
In terms of Slurmies, I guess I would give it a 2.5.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
Only because, like I said before, I feel like it was there. It served its purpose as a way to make a segue for what was to come with the Comedy Central things. The Comedy Central episodes. So they kind of had to scramble to explain what was going to happen going forward. But if memory serves me correct, wasn't the whole Fry chasing Leela Baxter, that whole story, like didn't that kind of after it went to Comedy Central where that actually came to fruition for Fry, where he was actually with Leela, whereas before like the Fox was him chasing her. I think when it went to Comedy Central, they lost a lot of that charm of Fry trying to charm Leela. So I feel like the later episodes, while I'm not as familiar with them as I am with the earlier episodes, I feel like the later episodes, they were good. They weren't as good as the Fox ones, in my opinion. But like I said, I felt like they did a good job trying to explain away any doubts they could have that could have given a snag later on in the Comedy Central episodes, they were good. They were all good.
So, are you saying that you think that Fly and Lyra should be together forever?
Well, no, I'm saying that part of the...
Is that from The Tempest?
Well, no, I mean, all the great episodes, the old episodes for Futurama were all about how Leela wouldn't give Fry the time of day. Like, the fact that, like, seeing Fry going after Leela was a big part of why it made it so
Of course it was.
And then it went to Comedy Central, and they were together, and it's like that whole... It's like the jumping the shark moment of Happy Days. It's like when Jeannie finally married Major. It just, that point in the series, it drops off.
You are throwing it back there, buddy.
There's so many overlapping fictions in that statement.
If you don't know what he's talking about, look it up. Yeah. Well, I see. You think he's agreeing with you. He's not agreeing with you. He's not agreeing that Fry and Leela should just be together. He's saying it's the thrill of the chase was the good part of the...
They've chased each other for 7 seasons!
Yeah, but I mean, like, the heartache that Fry went through trying to chase Leela, and, like, the things that he did that all were for naught. That was what made it, like, magical. That's what made it heartwarming, and that's what made you... Like, it kind of made a lot of people love the lovable loser, which was Fry. And then he finally gets the girl, and it's like... They lose that, that loses that aspect. He finally gets Leela, and then those later episodes are kind of, not that I'm saying that they're not good, but there's, like I said, there's a jump the shark moment, and that's kind of like when it went to Comedy Central, kind of, in a way, it kind of jumped the shark.
Right.
So, sorry, that's...
No, that's... Hey, look,
sorry, Australia.
That is...
Sorry, you 200 people.
So wait, what was your Slurmy? 2.5?
2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the most analytical Slurmies session that we've had so far.
I like it.
Sorry.
Look, that's what we need. We need new blood.
Dave?
We hear it all. I'm going to be about the average guy with this one. I don't necessarily think this is a great episode. I don't think it's bad. It has its funny moments. There's a lot of good jokes in there, but there is some parts where it does drag. Grant does make a good point about the Fry and Leela subplot to the whole series, which I'll probably talk about later on in other episodes of these 4 seasons. But other than that, like, the animation's still great. I don't know, where did you see people talking about the difference between the Fox broadcasts and the Comedy Central broadcasts?
Oh, just out on the street. Just like, I'm walking down the street. People
are like, hey, Suds, man.
Hey, you ever heard about this Futurama show?
Yeah, dude. What is this shit?
Like, this season is different than that other one.
Okay, alright.
Like, it was just on the internet on some random website. I don't know.
Reddit thread, probably.
I have to say, person I've never seen before on the street, if there were hypothetically a podcast that rated the show on Slurmies, let me tell you what I would give it.
Excuse me. And same thing as what James was kind of saying. maybe they need a little more pushback, or needed a little more pushback. There are a lot of episodes in these 4 seasons that I truly do like, but there are quite a few that I'm not gonna spoil too much, but didn't enjoy as well. I've already talked about it, so it's not a spoiler to anybody. The last episode of the whole run, the last episode of season 11? Where are we at?
10.
10? Season 10?
10 is the last one.
Yeah, so the last episode of season 10 is one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
But
it's one of the best last episodes of any show.
Which episode is this?
it's, well, we can do spoil. It's where Fry and Leela get married. And they're stuck in the, like,
The last episode of the fucking series.
Yeah, of Futurama.
It's fantastic.
Of Futurama.
Oh.
So, like,
I don't remember.
well,
Oh God, this is immediately a disaster. I regret asking Grant to be on.
Dave, was there a number at any point in that?
well, I was trying to continue on. I'll give this a 3.5.
All right.
What? That's it. That's it. Now I'm doing an Nathan. No!
But you're not asking anybody for a back rub, which he normally does.
He gives back rubs as well.
He gives and he receives.
Yes. He's
The
a good guy.
Lord gives and the Lord receives.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if... Well, we can... Do you think that Nathan would appreciate a plug for his...
Oh, congratulations.
He doesn't care what we do.
All right.
That's up to you.
Well, shout out to our buddy Nathan, who's been on this podcast several times before and just was named one of... what the fuck publication was it even?
I have no idea. He showed us the magazine article, but I can't.
He's just named
40 nerds under 40.
He was just named one of the 40 under 40 for some magazine we don't remember because we've been drinking and don't care to.
Like the 40 people under 40 who like Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, well, Suds should be part of that as well because he's a big fan now after his little.
But he's not under 40, so
That's a good point. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so that is the end of
Suds
the
actually
episode.
died 9 years ago.
Did he die?
I'm a ghost, bro.
Yeah.
You're part of the
He's
glitch.
He's a replicant.
Oh,
What is your major function?
there's a turtle in the desert.
Fart
It's on its
noise.
back.
I haven't seen Blade Runner. I don't know how to respond.
All right, that is the end of the episode. I'm cutting you all off. We're getting out of it.
Turtle in the desert.
What's a tortoise?
Turtle. Desert. Turtle desert.
Turtle desert.
Turtle desert.
Oh god, it's
Why?
happening again.
Why those things?
Fucking god damn it.
Wait, Grant is fucking dying right now.
Shit over here.
Why those things?
Okay.
That was the episode we just watched. Why
That
those
is the
things?
beginning of the episode we just watched. Somebody's getting it.
Start the
All right.
Stop covering your fucking face when you speak.
Thank you for listening. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at DeadWolfsHow.
Follow me on Twitter at Gorilla Karate.
Follow me on Instagram at Mike Suds and also on Instagram at Dead Wolf Showl. And then also
I'm going to throw my beer can at you.
And then also look at my band Florence and Libby at some point in your life.
Are they playing anytime soon?
No, never again.
Okay, all right.
Grant,
do you have anything you want to plug, buddy?
No.
Well done.
End on the same note we came in on.
Fuck you.
Off you go, apparently.